Hey guys, what's up? It's Terror Dog, and welcome back to GT Sport, episode 25. So as you can see, I'm back with my Driftune Supra. We're drifting around Yamagila plus Miyabi. But this isn't the main point of the video. Sure, I have some spectacular drifting going on here, but it's not like you haven't seen anything like this before. Sure, this is kind of new for me in GT Sport, after all the time I've spent being able to do this in GT6 and not being able to tune right. Hey, we're going to go for a 360, 540 J-turn? 540 J-turn into the drift. Okay, we're not going to actually transition quite as cleanly, but, alright. But, yeah, this is actually supposed to be in VR. How about we get to that VR clip? Now, for anyone who has seen my drifting in GT6, you'll notice that it's quite obvious that I'm using a controller because of how fast you can see the front tire steering and shifting between full lock and neutral, usually full lock and straight. But here, you don't see that. It just kind of wobbles a little bit. So, I wondered, maybe is it because I'm able to actually see where I want to go, that I'm able to more confidently and more precisely set the amount of counter steer that I want. Because of being in VR and being able to see where I want to go. Well, now, hang on a second. That may not actually be the case. See, before trying this in VR, for the second time anyway, for this video, I did a drift. I went into the arcade drift trial and completed a drift trial for every track. And I decided I was going to pick the one with the highest score, but then I ended up with Suzuka East, like 28,000 points. And I already did Suzuka East, so we're not doing that one again. At least not yet, anyway. So here is the replay from the drift trial, which you can very clearly see because it's got the points. As you can see, the start of the drift section is farther down the hill and I'm at a lower speed, so my entry is a little less dramatic, I guess we could say. Also because I can't just do a 360 and not get punished for it. So take a look at what the front tires are doing as I'm drifting. Remember, this is on my TV, not in VR. And you can see the counter steer is pretty much set. Maybe the wheel wobbles a little bit, but it doesn't shift back and forth real fast between straight and full lock, opposite lock. Now here, obviously this was one of my very early attempts at drifting this track. I only gave it like 1 or 2 shots just to get an idea for a score, just to keep everything consistent and get through all of the tracks as fast as possible. So yeah, the tire only wobbles about the same amount as in VR, so we can clearly see that it's not just because of having more information, but I think just from having more practice, and maybe because this tune feels a bit more stable than my normal drift tune from GT6, because I don't have a lot of crazy camber or toe angle going on here. In fact, I'm still toe in the rear, so the car is still very much controllable. It's not completely insane like I would normally do. And that's simply because with the GT Sport physics, those kind of tunes just don't seem to work. Now, something interesting happened during one of my attempts at the last VR clip that you just saw. The very first one, I should say, the first one in this video. And I found that it seemed like I was almost able to keep up with that 177. Here we have a much cleaner entry because I didn't bother trying to do 360s or anything fancy. I also came very close to cutting the corner, but again, I was trying to go fast as well. There's the car up ahead of me, and I can actually still see it, and the lap's almost over. So what's going on here look at what this car is doing. Right? So, blah blah blah. Let's get to a place where it makes more sense, where it's much more apparent. He's not accelerating at full throttle. Yeah, he seems to be adjusting to maintain a certain distance from me. Maxing at about 3/4 throttle. Check this out. So, after doing a run that was focused entirely on drifting and, getting as sideways as possible, and then doing a run where I toned down the drifting a bit to try to keep up with the car, I decided, well, if I can keep up with the car while drifting, maybe I can beat it in a race. I'm gonna give this one last try. Again, I got the comfort hards. And we'll see what happens with the rubberbanding. This is part of what hurts my time, is not having a corner like almost immediately right after the start. I tried earlier, I wasn't having any luck. I think the reason was I really just didn't want to stop trying to drift. Drift a little bit and have a little fun. You can't go fast enough because the AI went about 20 seconds faster per lap when I started going. About 20 seconds faster per lap. Here he's on straight, and he's going straight. He's at just a bit over half. Yeah, I'm used to judging by when the car in front of me brakes, and I can't do that because he's got to go rear tire. let's go to the home straight, see what he does. Only about 3/4 throttle, between 60% and 3/4.
That's good. On the straights. I know I couldn't outbrake him, that's why I went for that drift. To try and take up more track. This section here, this is the worst. That uphill, I can't really do it. No, not gonna happen. Running about 33 seconds faster per lap, and still he rubber bands strong enough to stay in front, but only just. Alright, so we're at the Nordschleife, because things didn't really go quite as I had hoped at Yamakuwa plus Miyabi. Might retry that one again sometime. But yeah, there goes the Lamborghini Veneno I'm racing against now. Supra is still drift tuned, so I'm still on the Comfort hard tires, while that Veneno is on the Sports hard. So it's got a lot more grip than me. The question is, can the Drift Supra actually win against the AI that there's no difficulty selection, but it's the only kind of AI you get to drive against in VR driving.
Is it the AI rubber banding harder, or is it an issue with the car track compatibility? See, with a drift tune, at least the way I tune, or perhaps or something, it's difficult to drive uphill. The car becomes very unstable. It's like a pendulum effect, sort of. Like the rear end is pushing and the front end is meeting a resistance, so the rear end tries to come around.
And he's just gonna let me pass him.
And that uphill climb at the end of the track, you know, with Yamagiyo plus Miyabi, would take away everything that I would gain every time. I couldn't avoid it. So I thought, well, what if I ran a track like Rubberband? You know, 73 corners or something like that. We know the AI isn't going to take the corners at maximum attack because it's the AI. But it should still have a significant advantage being on a sport hard tire while I'm on a comfort hard tire. And in this case, we also have a significant difference in downforce to consider as well. Plus, the Veneno has all-wheel drive, so there's that. Having a corner immediately at the start of the race, without much straight line from the start line, was to my benefit though, because that meant that instead of spending a lot of time spinning my wheels trying to move, I could just go into a corner.
It feels more like I'm at like a track day than a race with this AI. Because he just moved over, let me pass, and now he's staying back there.
But anyway, let's check out and see what is this Lamborghini doing here. Try and get an idea of why is it so slow? What's going on here? Is the AI, because it shouldn't be rubber banding, he just allowed me to pass him. He put his signal on like we're at tourist day or something, like tourist track day, and just let me moved over and let me pass him. So now I normally get that when, you know, we're driving cars of the same performance, same tires, you know, something like that. You know, the AI would usually I usually be on the AI from the very beginning and pull over by like the second or third corner or so, and that'd be it. But here we can see he's still not pushing it. He's not pushing the car.
I have a sort of significant gap for me. Now, a very significant gap. I don't even see him back there anymore. Of course, if I keep looking back, I will eventually see him because I'll screw up.
I want to find, let's go to the long straight right after the Gap and Cup. Right, so I push it all the way, I hit my top speed. And he still insists, the AI still insists that maintaining, a lower throttle position only about 60%. And you can see he's significantly far back from me. He's a couple seconds behind. And he doesn't even match my top speed. Okay, he's braking early because he's an AI and I expect an AI to brake early. So he only just barely gets a finish at 9:09, where I managed to 9:03. So he's like 6 seconds behind me. It's like the tables have turned compared to Yamagiwa drifting, high-speed drift. Right, this one I was about 6 seconds behind at the end, and I can show you that actually. All right, so let's just fast forward through this whole thing. So go into live timing, and you see I'm just ever so slightly over 6 seconds behind. And you can see some sections I'm actually faster, and then there are some sections where I'm slower. Right, some sections I'm about the same. So you can really tell that definitely, yeah, there are some areas where I don't know if you could tell. No, it doesn't show the section markers on the map, but there are some, at least on that course map, but there are some sections where I was a little faster doing the drifting instead of just racing the drift tune. And you can see the lap times here and here, right? He's only 2 seconds faster than his first lap. That's terrible. And I'm almost matching his second lap. Very close lap time. But the rubber banding was in effect, so I could not actually win, even when trying to race seriously. Alright, so that was just some interesting findings. You know, just seeing what I can do with the drift tune and some silly rubber banding AI. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. See you guys next time. Goodbye.